Hello, I am so excited that you allowed me to enter into your room to talk with you about one of my favorite subjects, and that is how money works. You know, one of my favorite artists, or rather, I should say, Arthur, was Maya Angelou. And one of the things she said is that when we know better, we do better. And I really believe that. So, what we're going to do today, before we get into our first principle, I want to read a scripture. And it is about money, of course. And it starts, Malachi 3:8 starts, "Will a man rob God? Yet you have robbed me. But you say, in what way have we robbed you? In tithes and offerings. You are cursed with a curse, for you have robbed me, even this whole nation. Bring all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house. And try me now in this, says the Lord of hosts, if I will not open for you the windows of heaven and pour out for you such blessing that there will not be room enough to receive it." Wow, what a promise. Can you imagine having so many blessings that you cannot even receive them? You don't have enough space to receive them. Oh my goodness, what a promise. And this is one of the first principles of money, and that is to make sure you give the Lord his fair portion. Everything we get comes from him. You know, he creates wealth. So it would behoove us to make sure that we keep his principle of tithing. Now, I'm not here to preach to you about tithing. That has to be a personal commitment, but I believe that the Lord would not tell us to do it if he did not feel it was necessary for us to prosper. One of the things that we're going to talk about today is paying yourself first. And I think that paying your tithe is actually paying yourself, because the Lord has promised that if you give to him, he's going to pour back on you. So paying him is really paying yourself. And then after you give him your tithe, then take control of what's left and find ways that you can make that grow. For example, after you pay your tithe, then pay yourself. Pay yourself again. You paid yourself through your tithes, now pay yourself again. How can you do that? You say, "But I don't have enough money. I don't make enough." Well, okay, start doing this. At the end of every evening, end of every day, come home, empty your pockets and your pocketbook of all the loose change that you have. Purposefully try to get change. When you're making a purchase, use $1. If it's 69 cents, instead of digging in your pocket to find 69 cents, give $1 and get the change. And then at the end of the day, come home and put all that loose change into a container and let it accumulate. You will be surprised at how that money will grow. And once you put it there, don't go and take it out. If you have something, you need something, don't just say, "Oh, I'll just go and take it out of my little container." Let that money stay there and grow. See, there are things that you can control. You can't control what your employer pays you, but you can control how much you're going to pay yourself. So you can't say, I'm going to wait until my employer give me a raise and then I'll start saving. Or I'm going to wait until the economy gets better and then I'll start investing. No, you have to take control right now, doing the little simple things. How did you survive during the pandemic when the government was giving out the stimulus checks? Did you use that money to pay off some bills or save, set up your emergency fund? What did you do with that money? That was extra money. Did you make it work for you? Now you can answer that. I can't answer that for you. For me, I saved it. And what I didn't save, I used it to purchase things that I needed without having to put them on a credit card or whatever. I used it for that. And I have the habit of trying to pay my credit cards off. If I do use a credit card, at the end of the month, I pay it off. So I'll use it because I don't like using my debit card. There's so much going on with people getting into your accounts. So I use a credit card to make purchases. And then at the end of the month, I pay that credit card off. And now I have safeguarded my credit card, my debit card. I'm not using my debit card everywhere I go. So that's just a little nugget for me. And then sometimes you can get points, from using your credit cards. I have a certain card that gives me points. So I can use those points for travel and different things. And it's a win-win for me. But don't use your credit card that way if you're not going to pay it off in 30 days, because you can get yourself in big, big trouble. And we're going to talk about that further down the road as well. I want to share something with you, a little story that my husband told me. He told me about a time when he was a little boy and he was at home with his mother, and times were tough, and his mother had bought this beautiful piece of fruit, and they were eating it, and it was just one piece left. And yet a neighbor came in, and of course the mother gave that last piece to the neighbor. And my husband said he was so disappointed because he really wanted that last piece of fruit. And when the neighbor finally left, he said to his mom, "Mom, we don't have anything. And what we do have, you keep giving it away." And his mother looked at him, and she taught him a lesson that he lives by even today. He thinks of those principles. And she said, "Son, look at this." And she held her hand out, and she balled her fist really tight. She clenched it really tight. And she said, "Son, you see this fist? I can't get anything out. Nothing can come out because I'm holding it real tight. But do you know what else? Nothing can get inside either because my fist is so tight." And he remembered that principle. In order to receive, you have to give. And even today, he thinks of that, and he shared that with me. And I want to share it with you because that is what the Bible teaches us. Give and it shall be given to you. There's so many things. And one of the things that I like, and you can learn, picking up little nuggets through the day. Some of our best lessons are not taught, they are caught. C-A-U-G-H-T. They are caught. You pick up something. You didn't really expect to get that particular lesson, but it came. You were studying something else, but you got a different lesson. You got a different meaning. And that is how life is. And those little things are little blessings that we get. Now, pay yourself first. We talked about tithing, right? When you tithe, you are actually paying yourself, because the Lord doesn't need our money. But just like I remember, I'm dating myself, but there were times when my brother, we were teenagers, and my dad would let us use the car. And sometimes we would run out of gas, and my brother would have to walk to the service station to get a gallon of gas, and then he would come back. And because the car was completely out of gas, he had to put a little gas in the carburetor, I think it was carburetor. And it did something to help that gas flow once it went into the tank. So sometimes you need to give a little in order to get a lot. So in order to get that car to accept that gas, a gallon of gas, he had to put a little bit in the carburetor. And that's where tithing is. In order to get that other 90% working properly, you need to put that little tenth into the Lord's hand, so you can ignite your blessings and get them flowing. I believe in tithing, and I've been tithing for many years, and my life has never been richer than it is now, since I have been practicing that. Another thing that we want you to think about is taking control. Take control of your finances. Don't wait and depend on others. You take control. Start saving today. Don't wait until your boss gives you a raise. Start saving today. Just whatever. If it's 10 cents a day, start with the 10 cents. And then tomorrow, say 20 cents. And the next day, 30 cents. I was looking, I'm in the financial industry, and I was looking at a fund that was came about in 1948. And that fund, I did a hypothetical, and it showed that had a person invested $10,000 in 1948 and put it there, never touched it, never added any additional money to it, the money going through the compounding of interest, today, 2022, that money, that $10,000 would have grown to $9 million. Yes, $9 million. So you can see what time and consistency can do. What if that $10,000 was there and you added extra $100 a month all through those years? It would have been even more. But just that one $10,000, with time, it grew to $9 million. So you see, you don't have to hit the lottery to become wealthy. You don't have to be, make a whole lot of money, like 6 figures, in order to be wealthy. You can just know the principles of how money works, and you can make that money work for you, and you can become a millionaire if that's what you choose to be. But first, you have to learn how to make money your employee. Make the money work for you, and not just you working for the money. When we put our money into the economy and we have it growing, that money is working 24/7. When you're sleeping here in the United States, that money is working abroad. Because when it's night here, it's day someplace, and that money is still working. So we're going to have a lot of fun. I want you to tune back in, and we are going to move forward because I want you to become financially free. And then when you get that way, I want you to teach someone else and let that person encourage them to teach the next person. And together, we will revolutionize our communities. God bless you.